Hi, everyone. I'm just waiting for our guest to join.
Hi. Hi.
Hi, Lauren. How are you?
I'm so good. It's so nice to meet you.
I know. I'm so excited for this conversation. This is going to be really fun. I'm waiting for Bri to join.
Okay, great.
How are you doing today?
I'm doing really fantastic,
Good.
actually. I feel like I got my 3.5-year-old out of the house solo, so I kind of feel like $1 million.
Yes. Yeah. Any getting toddlers out of the house is just like a whole other animal. It really is.
I can't believe that they have to go to the bathroom 6 times before, and there's need 2 more cups of water. Oh, 1 more snack for the. I'm like, oh my goodness, my patience in the morning. Sometimes I'm like, we got to get going.
Yes.
But we did it successfully, and we made it to preschool on time. So.
Amazing.
That's a win.
The most important thing. Let's see. I'm trying to get Bri. Let's see. She's trying to join and it's not letting her. Let's see. Accept. There we go. Hi.
Hi, Bri.
Hi.
How are you?
I was hearing I am not prepared for the preschool drop-off days. One day I will get there.
Yeah, take your time. You're okay. Stay where you're at.
Yeah. You look back and you're like, wow, everything I thought was so hard was so much easier, but everything's a phase. So it's just like,
That's what I keep
Yeah.
telling new moms that I meet. I'm like, as soon as you get one thing figured out, there is another thing that's right there on the road for you.
What phase are you in, Bri, currently?
We just turned 9 months a few days ago.
Congratulations!
Yeah. So right now we are pulling up and standing on everything. We've got our first tooth kind of coming in, second tooth too. So we're just in the middle of a lot of crazy chaos, but I love it.
Love it. Well, let me kick everything off and then we can dive into all of the fun stuff because Bri, I want to hear more about your little one. 9 months is like my favorite age. Like 9 to 12 months is just so much fun. But for those of you who are joining, if this is your first time, this is our Build Your Dream Registry series. We do this every month. We are joined by Lauren from Willow, and then we have Bri with us. And so we're going to spend some time just chatting about our registry must-haves, things that we think you should absolutely put on your registry, maybe some things you should skip. And then my favorite category is things that we wish we put on our registry that we didn't. So we're also running a giveaway. So I want to remind everyone, email us social@nanit.com and we'll be selecting one winner to win a Nanit, a Willow, plus another item off of your registry. So don't forget to email us and then we will announce the winner on social, I believe later this afternoon or tomorrow.
That's a good giveaway.
A really good one. Those are like 2 big ticket items off of your registry, which is so nice to get the larger items checked off your registry for sure.
Yeah.
Lauren, do you want to start and just quickly introduce yourself?
Sure.
How many kids you have? All of that fun
stuff.
Sure.
My name is Lauren. I'm the head of product at Willow. I have a daughter who's 3.5. Her name is Lily. I am personally so excited for this because my desert island baby tool for early motherhood is the Nanit. I am like an OG Nanit fan. It's the only product I still use to this day, and she's 3.5. I'm obsessed with it. I use the app every single day. So when our team reached out and asked me if I want to do this, I'm like, yes, I can't wait. I'm like so psyched. It just brought me so much peace in early motherhood. That was really hard for me to wrap my head around. So I'm excited to talk about other registry things. I had done a bunch of research and I had Nanit on my registry, so I had gotten it that way. But yeah, I'm really excited for today and to hear what everybody else has to say as well.
Awesome. We're so excited to get your insight.
Yes.
And Bri, do you want to quickly introduce yourself?
Yes. Hello, everyone. My name is Bri. I kind of started off being a plus size fashion content creator, but I have also through my life journey gone through a few miscarriages and just my path to pregnancy, and also just the path to my daughter has been a journey that I've shared online always. And so once I became a mother, of course, I have been sharing all of the details of that journey online with everyone who's been here along for the journey as well. So now I have a 9-month-old daughter, and it is truly a journey figuring everything out when it comes to motherhood, taking care and raising an amazing little human, and also still trying to stay true to you as a woman and a woman in business and all these things. So I am just passionate about all those things and really self-love and spreading love. So I think that being here today is amazing because I love to give back. I think finding community in motherhood and parenthood in this journey is really something that helps keep people sane. And so something like this is giveaway, and just learning more and having more resources is always amazing, and something I am always on my Nanit app in the little inbox section, like reading all of the little insights they give you for, you know, that stage of life that you're in. So I just think sharing knowledge, information is so empowering. So I'm so happy to be a part of the motherhood community and be here today.
Yay, yeah, we're so excited to have you. And thank you so much for sharing that journey, because I think it's so important for people who are also going through that to be able to find other people that they can relate to and connect with. And again, it ties back to that community piece that you mentioned, which I think is just such a foundation of motherhood. I'll quickly introduce myself and then we can kind of get into it. I'm Melanie Bond. I'm the Director of Brand and Community here at Nanit. I have a 20-month-old daughter, so we're all girl moms, which is so fun. And I'm expecting my second in February, and we don't know the gender, so we will see.
Congratulations.
Congrats.
Yeah, so it's kind of fun going back through building, like, I'm making a registry almost just for like myself, my own personal list. And you don't need as much stuff the second time around, which is kind of nice because it is so daunting the first time building that registry. I feel like I reached out to so many people to be like, okay, tell me what I actually need, and then can you look at my registry and tell me like what I'm missing and what I need to take off, because sometimes registries can get so long and then, you know, it's incredibly overwhelming.
I'm dying to know something that you definitely put on the second time around, because I think that's a great hack, is to go to a mom who has a second and be like, what was the first thing that you knew that you wanted the second time around?
That's a really good question. Well, so I feel like everything I'm registering for, since I work in the baby space, I'm so lucky because I've gotten to try out so many different products. So I think for me, when I built my first registry, I leaned on everyone that I worked with really closely, that young children. And then I also invested in products that I knew would last me a really long time that I could use again. And so I think that's where, like, sometimes when you think about, oh, is this product a little bit more expensive? It's like, well, how long are you going to be using it for? And I think Nanit's a great example of that. Yes, it's a higher ticket item, but like you said, Lauren, you're still using it and you're 3.5 years into your parenting journey. So obviously I will have another Nanit on my registry because I need to have two. I have to have one for each of my babies, and I still be using my Nanit for my daughter once the new baby arrives. So we absolutely have that on the registry. And then the biggest thing that I did not put on my registry the first time is products for me and my recovery. So I'm doing that this time and not feeling guilty about it, because I think there's almost like, and I've mentioned that to people, like, oh, you should absolutely add products for yourself. And they're like, is that okay? Like, am I allowed to do that? I'm like, absolutely, you're allowed to do that. I made a mistake by not doing that. So I feel like switching the narrative a little bit, encouraging moms to add products for yourself, because that whole fourth trimester is a doozy in itself. So making sure you have what you need beforehand, put it on your registry.
Yeah, I love that idea. I mean, obviously we work in the baby space, but I really think of Willow as a motherhood company. It's really for moms, right? I mean, breast pumping, of course, you're providing milk to your baby, but, you know, Willow invented the wearable pump, right? You know, the founders and the inventors looked at the space and thought, we can do better than moms having to be plugged into a wall 5 times a day. Like, it's not fair. It's not good enough, right? It's great to see how much the space has grown and how many wearables there are now. but there is a pride I have in solving a very specific need around a better pumping experience for mom. And we know, you know, through our partners that Willow Go is like one of the most registered for items in some stores. So there is an amazing opportunity to reframe the registry from being just what's for your baby, in addition to what makes things easier for mom so she can spend more time with her baby, right? Like that's the point. I talked to a Willow mom this week who was telling me about her experience with Willow Go, and how before she had it, she was feeling really disconnected from her baby because she kept having to stop and go in the other room and plug in and pump. And once she had it, she could sit there with the baby on the floor, you know, and play and like pump and just feel like she had more time. And isn't that like what we all want in early motherhood, is like more time, right?
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah, so I love that idea.
Whenever I speak with expecting mothers or new moms, or even parents, the fathers too, or partners, I always say, one, try to take as many videos as you can, because during that stage, it is just like fight or flight. You are trying to provide, make sure everyone is happy and healthy, but also you have so many core moments and memories going on that you don't want to miss. And that's why I think having products that really make your life more efficient. Being a mother is all about finding that perfect synergy and being efficient so that you can spend more time with your children, spend more time with yourself, maybe spend more time with your partner. Whatever, time is like so precious during these stages. So having a wearable pump is something that can really make your life so much easier. Having a product like Nanit that gives you all of these key informations to be able to sleep is just one of those things. Trying to figure it out is really
never ending too. Like once you think you conquer it, it's just, I feel like it starts all over.
I think having all those tools to be able to really try to understand your baby. You know, you're just learning your baby still too, and learning more about your baby through all these key factors and information that you're getting through the Nanit app per se. Being able to get them to sleep faster, maybe. That do have more time. Maybe you can put on your Willow Go while you're running to go pick up your coffee and have your little mommy me time in the car. You know, just things like that where you're getting more efficiency. That's what I always recommend, is what are the products that are really going to give you more time, save your time.
Love that.
Yeah. What do you think is the product that saved you the most time?
Oh, that's a great question. I did use a wearable pump in the beginning, and truly it was just a lifesaver, a game changer, because when you are in the hospital and they have you use that hospital pump and you're just, you know, stuck there and you can't do much else, you can't even really, it does feel like you're just kind of frozen in the moment and everyone else is living life around you. By, and I don't want to be frozen in the moment. I want to be hands-on and experiencing as well. But there is one product that I do love to recommend, and it is a baby bouncer. I particularly really love the baby Bjorn. My baby is too big for it, but that's one of the products that I love to recommend, because I always think of like, okay, child safety. Where is a safe place that I can set my baby if I need to use the restroom really quick? Maybe I need to try to take a shower. Maybe I just need to wash some bottles. Of course, there's always the crib or the bassinet option, but I love that you can move that bouncer around the house and bring it with you up the stairs, down the stairs if you have stairs, or bring it into the bathroom and put the baby right in front of you so you can keep your eyes on, but you know that's a safe place to set your baby. That's one of my top recommendations for parents that are going to have newborns.
I agree. What do you think, Lauren? What's like one of your big time saver items?
You know, a lot of mine were around sleep. Like, so, you know, a big reason why I was such a fan of Nanit was because I got some peace of mind. It really did give me like a calming sense of peace of mind. But the other sleep one that I felt like was really efficient for me in the early days was a Velcro swaddle. I used Ollie. I loved it. I was obsessed. And there's other ones out there too. But there's something about the middle of the night trying to swaddle that was just like just ruined me. Like I just like could not like get it around. And so once I had one of those, again, it wasn't something I registered for, so something I wished I had. If I had done it, you know, again, I would totally put it on there, but saved me so much of the fiddling and the figuring out in the dark. I actually think I've been thinking about this a lot. We have content in our apps for our pumps, and we had a postpartum doula write an article up for our pumping moms that I thought was really helpful, which was when you're pregnant and you're in the third trimester, especially if you're a first-time mom, think about where you might do certain activities in your home and make those areas ready. So it's different than nesting, right? It's different than sort of making a nursery, but asking yourself questions. Okay, where am I going to feed in the middle of the night? Where am I going to have the baby be laid down to change diaper in the middle of the night, right? Like if you have if your baby's sleeping in your room, are you going to take the baby out of your room to do that? Are you going to do it? And it's like trying to make your home and the spaces in your home, like walking through them in your head before the baby comes. For me personally, the first time I didn't think about that stuff. So then I'm in the moment trying to figure out, is there a small light that's not so bright? And then, you know, I didn't think that through, learned on the job kind of, but you know, that's kind of a way to think about on your registry. What do I really need? You know, what doesn't my home have that supports, you know, nighttime feeding or daytime naps or napping on the go, like whatever is important to you and your family. How can you register for products that support that vision for like what you want your fourth trimester to be?
Yeah, I totally agree. And multifunctional products too, because I love that you made that comment around thinking about your house and where you're going to be spending time, because someone recommended to me to set up like a station on the first floor of our home. Or even if you don't have two floors, if you might want two separate stations for your baby, if you will. So the pack and play that we got had like a changing insert.
Yeah.
So it was perfect. And we still use that pack and play to this day when we travel and she's not sleeping at the house. But we used that for probably the first 4 to 5 months. We had it set up in our living room because we were spending so much time there. And it was nice not to have to run up and downstairs. And I just like set up diapers, wipes, and everything, extra change of clothes. And it saved me a lot of time and it made it just so much easier.
Yeah.
Especially when you're recovering. You're not having to like bounce around.
Yes, I
love that idea of, if you are registering for things for yourself for postpartum, also setting up that station in the bathroom ahead of time. I mean, right, you're going to be in some pain. You're like, what's happening to my body, right? And at that moment, you want things that can make you feel good, whatever that may be, right? Like if it's a spray, if it's a balm, if it's you know, making the ice packs, you know, all that, like whatever you need to do ahead of time. That, I mean, that would be, figuring that out when I was in pain was hard.
Yes. And like you said, setting it up like if you have more than one bathroom in your home, do it in the 2 bathrooms that you're going to be using the most, because you just want to have everything accessible to you.
Makes it a lot to not having to run to another room to get something that you need when you have a baby crying and you're just like, no.
And take things from the hospital. I know, I feel like everyone says this, but I have to repeat it, because take all of like the care, like they have a ton of postpartum care for you. They have a ton of diapers and wipes and like all of the things. So someone recommended to me, like bring your diaper bag, but bring it empty and just fill it before you go. And my nurses were so kind. They were like, every time I come into the room, I want to hear you say, I need diapers and wipes, diapers and wipes. And they just kept bringing them in and I was putting them in my bag.
Yes, absolutely.
Product that I really love that you just reminded me, we're talking about soft light during nighttime. Because I love my Nanit so much, I have the Nanit Sound and Light, which I think personally, just being able to go into my Nanit app and immediately turn on the sound and light before I'm even walking into the room, because they have that little control right there on the side, is so nice. And I can create my settings if it's like daytime now, maybe I don't have any light, nighttime, I like to have a little bit of red light. But, you know, just having those settings and having a portable sound machine that is also a light that I can bring from room to room if I need to, or also just use as a soft light to change diapers and not wake the baby too much with all this bright light, and be able to quickly get her back to sleep is so nice to have.
Yeah, I will say that the light on it is perfect because it can be so dim. Like, but still give you enough light to do exactly what you need to do, but not wake your baby. And now my daughter wants a night light. And so it's the perfect, like she picked out a red color and it's very dim, but it just gives her enough like comfort where she's not getting scared in the middle of the night anymore. So that has been a game changer for us.
Yeah, and also having something like that even before you go to the hospital, because you can bring that to the hospital, and having the sound machine in the hospital for those first few nights for the baby was game changer. All the nurses that I were coming in, I'm like, oh my gosh, this is so smart. I'm like, did I just crack a code here? I swear everyone on TikTok was telling me to do this, so I'm glad I did.
Love that. Let's change gears a little bit and talk about things that you registered for that maybe you didn't end up using that much. So maybe you'd recommend skipping. What do you think, Bri? Or Lauren, you can go either.
I'll be the first to say and admit that I did get the SNU bassinet, and while I did like it for a few months, it then almost became a problem when trying to transition my baby out of the SNU. And that 4-month regression also hit at the same exact time as her learning how to roll over and getting her out of swaddles because of that. So looking back on the memories tab in my Nanit and seeing all of the videos, like getting flashbacks, that's one of those like big ticket items that you're not really sure about if there's a way that you can almost test them, or if they have like a rental option. That definitely can be the smarter option to go, because you're just not sure if you're going to get your money's worth out of it per se. So that's one item that I almost wish I didn't, now being a mother and having gone through the experience that I did. That maybe it would have been or maybe just that's my daughter in her process and journey, but I feel like for that product, we could have been just fine without it, you know, and maybe we would have learned to sleep in a crib sooner if we didn't have it.
I think this new, I think they do offer a rental version, which is great. So that way you can test it out. And I have heard, I mean, people love it and it works for some babies, but of course every baby's different. So since it is such a bigger ticket item, it's nice to be able to try it out first or wait and see if you really need it.
Yeah, mine is a little simpler, but I think in the beginning I had some like clothes and, you know, burp cloths and things that were very nice. And then I think about week 2, I like smarted up. I was like, whoa, this is, so I wouldn't have done that again. What I would put on in terms of clothes and that kind of stuff is, I've loved the side snap shirts so that you were not pulling something over baby's head. So when the baby is sleeping and you have to change, or like if the baby is like not in a good mood, like the last thing you want over a newborn is like pulling stuff over their head. It's an easier way. It's just, you know, side snap. The other part would be, it's nice to have a couple pretty burp cloths, I guess, like when you're out, you know, something cute. But for home, a friend had recommended just getting like the Gerber reusable diapers, the cloth ones. They're super absorbent and they're white and they're like cheap, and that cleaned up like every spit up, throw up, blowout, everything, and I felt fine, like, you know, tossing them if they could not be cleaned. So just to make it easier at home, you can't get more absorbent than a diaper, right? A cloth diaper. So it was like a great way to work around. So I would definitely do that again.
Oh, I love
for
that.
Sure.
I haven't heard that yet. I like that.
Yeah, that's a little hack a friend taught me, and I would definitely do that again.
Yeah, I agree with you on the clothes. I definitely bought way too many things that my daughter never wore. I think for the most part, they're really just going to be wearing like the onesie pajamas. I recommend ones that zip because, again, in the middle of the night, you change them a million times a day. And I feel like they live in that for like the first 3 months. And like you said, a couple of cute outfits here and there, but watch what's going over the head, because there's nothing worse than like trying to like get a little baby newborn dressed and they're upset. So I agree. I love the side snap. And you can get packs of those too on Amazon, I found. Like the white ones, which were really nice.
The same thing with diapers too, right? Because like you don't know how big your baby's gonna be. Like, you know, if you buy size 1 diapers and your baby comes out and he or she's really big, like, right. So in the beginning, it's like maybe you get a size newborn in a 1 and a 2 or something, and then just see, right? And
so everyone had said to me, do not buy any newborn stuff. You don't want anything newborn. So I was like, okay. So I bought no newborn clothes. My daughter was 5 pounds. And she was a peanut. So then, of course, in the hospital, I had to like order all this newborn stuff. So I think exactly what you said, everything in moderation. It's probably a good idea to have like 1 or 2 newborn, you know, 0 to 3 months. And then once your baby's there, you can kind of figure out, okay, what do I actually need and what do I want to buy more of? But the worst is like not having any clothes or having way too many in the wrong size.
Yeah, we had a problem. When my baby came out, she was 7 pounds, but she was not even fitting newborns. We had to go to the store 4 days postpartum and get so many preemie onesies because that's all she could fit. And I was like,
they fit in newborn, even if they're 8 or 9 pounds, they still fit in a newborn onesie, especially the stretchy ones, you know, because they last, I feel like, a while. They don't fit into 0 to 3 months.
No, not for a while. The sizes are so wacky in the beginning.
So varied.
At least just have like maybe one of everything just to see what they fit into and go from there. But I also was just, you know, so excited to finally have a baby. I bought so many cute little clothes, outfits, never wore them. Again,
you also don't know what you're going to like too. So if you overbuy in like a certain brand or something, you might not end up loving that brand, or maybe your baby doesn't like that brand. So that's why it's nice to just kind of test a couple things out and then you can figure out what you love.
I also feel that way about, you know, pacifiers, bottles. Those are, I love people who offer the bundles that have a bunch of different types that you can try out, because even baby to baby, you just never know what they're going to like. My daughter ended up not liking pacifiers at all. So I bought a bunch of them and she will not use any of them. And my next child, if I have one in the future, who knows, you know? So I think trying to just get a little bit of a few different brands and seeing what they like, especially with bottles too, because you just never know what they're going to end up actually taking to. And then you can maybe bulk order those items. But waiting till baby is here to kind of test the waters and see how it goes, and then get bulk is what I would.
I think that's like another good plus in the column of building a registry that is also for you, right? Because you haven't met this person yet and you do not know what they're going to be like, and they are a person and they're going to have opinions even as a baby, right? And so over registering for lots of baby stuff when you're not exactly sure what kind of person your baby is going to be, to me, it's like if people, because the point of a registry is people want to celebrate you. They want to celebrate your baby and your pregnancy and your journey. So, you know, putting things on there for yourself, like a Nanit camera that gives you peace of mind, like a Willow pump that will allow you to breastfeed when you're on the go, like those things are good for your whole journey. There are big ticket items that last, and that is worth registering for, right? Like that's a good idea, because little things along the way will change, right? And registering for things that are a little less expensive, but you're not sure if you'll need, that will be easier to fill in later once you figure that out. But things that, if you know you're going back to work, I mean, 70% of women in America do go to work outside of having a baby at some point postpartum. You know, that is something to plan for. That's something to think about, especially if you really want to breastfeed and pump and support that journey. There is some planning and some organization around that we have to think about, right? Transporting milk and storage and cleaning and things like that. And, you know, Willow has really been thinking about that a lot lately, especially, you know, with the lack of federal paid leave in America and things like that. And it makes it systematically harder for women to feed their babies the way that they want for as long as they want. And we've been creating new products to help support that so that it does make it easier to meet the goals that you want. And I think those are the kinds of things that get left off of a registry and you don't think about until later. But in thinking about what your goals are and what you want to do, and of course you never know what will happen, but I think registering for things that could make those goals come to life easier is always a smart idea.
Yeah. And I also think when it comes to the health or nourishment or safety of your baby, those are those items that you don't want to leave off the registry. And even if they're big ticket items and you feel like no one's going to buy this for me, I would rather have a few large ticket items than a bunch of those like little teeny tinies, because people can also go in and chip in to get those big ticket items for you. Maybe it takes, but I would rather have that product that I really want and really think is gonna protect like the safety of my baby. Having a Nanit camera where I can track the breathing of my baby during the middle of the night and get that peace of mind, or having like a Willow Go and be able to pump my milk while I'm doing things around the house or whatever I need to do, and just have that peace of mind, efficiency, and also my mental health postpartum matters too. And being stuck to the wall was not great for my personal mental health. So having those items that are really going to make your journey for not just your baby, but you, which is also ultimately your family, is so important. And I also think that family planning goes into a registry, especially with your first child, because maybe this is your first child, but you're family planning to have 2 or 3 or 4. And those items that we talked about in the beginning, that maybe the quality of it is a lot greater. Maybe it's a high ticket item, but you know you can use this throughout the journey of your family, and I'm only going to need to put it on the registry one time, and then maybe when the second baby comes around, I don't need to have it on my registry because I already have it. That's something to also think about. You know, maybe you're looking at strollers and you know you want 2 babies within a certain time window. Maybe a double stroller is going to be the best option for you. I think also goes into consideration when you are trying to build this list and think of maybe items are more expensive, but also if they're going to last the test of time, that is also important.
Totally. Cost per wear.
Yes.
Same with baby stuff. We did the same thing with our stroller. We registered for a Bugaboo Donkey, which is single, but then it goes to double. And I'm so glad we did, because now we're having another baby. So I just had to get an extension seat, but I don't need to get a brand new stroller, which is, you know, one of, I think, the most expensive things on registries these days. And I think you brought something up about, you know, your mental health, which is so important, because if you're not taking care of yourself, it's going to be really hard to take care of a brand new baby. So thinking about that and what you might need, you can never fully prepare yourself for the 4th trimester, but I think there are things that you can have handy and that you can think about. Having support, accepting help from those around you is really important, and it makes that time a little bit easier. And then I think always asking for help when you need it is huge, because you just don't know how you're going to be feeling. So if you're not feeling right, like, talk to your doctor, talk to your partner. I think it's so important for women to advocate, because I think so often we internalize so much, and you don't know what's normal, right? There is no normal, I always like to say, but if you're not feeling like yourself, maybe, you know, it's important to ask for help.
Yeah, I also think that, you know, becoming a mother in this day and age where there's so many apps and resources, and, you know, you're able to hear from people online who are sharing their stories. I feel like was maybe in the past, and now it's becoming a lot better, but there was this almost taboo about speaking about motherhood in, I wouldn't say a negative light, but being more honest about the feelings and emotions that can happen during that 4th trimester, and being able to know that you're not alone in feeling these, or maybe you're having a breastfeeding journey and a pumping journey is a very intense and intimate journey to go through, and hearing from other mothers, parents that are going through similar situations or feelings is really nice in the moment when you just feel maybe so frustrated and down on yourself. It's a lot of pressure to be someone that carries a child and then is also nourishing a child when it comes to breastfeeding, especially. I felt this immense pressure that I wasn't doing something right, or I didn't even know about babies having to get back to birth weight. That was a journey for me that I was like, whoa, I never heard about this. And why is my baby not gaining weight? Am I doing something wrong? Is there something wrong in our breastfeeding journey? And, there's just so many things that can happen and go on. And it's never going to end, no matter you're in the newborn stage, 4 months, 4 years, 24 years.
Totally.
It's have community and resources. So
Yeah, and the feeding journey too is it's so unique to every person. And I think you spend 10 months growing this baby, you go through this huge hormonal shift, and then you're expected to learn something completely new with your body.
yes.
Where I think we're taught as a society, like, oh, this is innate and natural, and you'll just know how to do it. And that's not always the case, and that's okay. But going into it, recognizing that, having tools to help you, using lactation consultants and nurses and doulas and all of those things are so wonderful. And I think taking some of the pressure off yourself too, because it's a lot.
Yeah, I think a lot, we talk to newly postpartum moms, every week. We talk to moms all the time. And sometimes it really brings me right back to like my own first week. And I feel very lucky that I get to almost go through it so I can accept it, because I had a pretty tough time. And I think one of the things that always stands out to me, especially with women who are feeling frustrated with the feeding journey in the beginning and with breastfeeding and with pumping, the same thing you just said, which is like, well, women have done this for thousands of years, and yeah, well, I've never done it before. And this baby's never done it before.
Right.
And we are learning something brand new. And I can't think of anything in my entire life that I had to learn brand new on my own with little preparation for exactly what was happening, with the stakes never being higher.
Right.
And if you start to look at it like that, instead of, why can everyone do it but me? You can have a little sense of pride that you're already doing it, right? One of the hardest things that I hear when we talk to moms, especially when they start pumping and feeling like they're not making enough milk for their baby early on, is the lack of education about how much your baby actually needs. We see full bottles on the internet, right? Like but your newborn baby only needs a few ounces. Their stomach's very small, right? And so what ends up happening is women feel insufficient and feel like their body is not supporting their baby. In addition, your body is changed so much overnight, right? You were talking about the hormones that you build for 10 months leave your body in 10 minutes. There's nothing else like that outside of adolescence, right? It's not something that's well studied, and it's not something that there's a ton of scientific information about. Some, but not a lot. And it feels incredibly lonely. It feels incredibly lonely to go through that and feel like it's just you and your body is not providing, right? And most of the time when we go through these conversations, at least with women who are pumping and breastfeeding, like their body is actually creating sufficient, but there's nothing to compare it to.
Right.
One of the reasons why I always talk about some of the benefits of using a Willow pump is that it's app connected. And one of the things that gives you is you can see how much milk you're pumping for your baby, and the app gives you context, tell you it's enough.
Yeah.
There's two sides to this, right? There's how much you're pumping and how much your baby's eating, but there's also the education and learning about like what at this age, in this range, for this weight, for all of that stuff. And of course, your lactation consultant and your OB and your pediatrician should absolutely be there to help you and be the people you rely on. But if it's the middle of the night, if you don't know, like, where can you go?
Yeah, you
right?
need that reassurance.
Yeah.
As a
So
mother. Yeah.
It's one of those things that we thought, you know, this is so helpful and needed. And I know Nanit has some of this content as well. It's this idea of, where can I look if I'm not sure? What's trusted out there? We have pediatricians, OBs, experts, feeding, lactation consultants. So many people wrote articles and guides and how-tos, and it's just there for you in case you need it, right? And maybe you don't, but if you do, it's there to support you and help you get on the path where you can feel more confident, which is really, honestly, all of those changes that you keep going through, even at 3.5, it just helps you be more confident and know that you can get through them and that you will get through them.
I love these products as a first-time parent, like the Willow and the Nanit, that have those sections where you are just getting some resources, because the truth is, I don't know everything. I am new here. I am 9 months into the job. Okay. I am not a professional. And sometimes it is just, again, it comes back to that sense of community and just shared information and being able to look at those resources if you need it. I'm always reading everything that I can, because again, I'm new here. And I just think it's so helpful to just even get that peace of mind to know other people have gone through this. Here's some tips and tricks if you need it, or even a visual guide on how to do it. Maybe you don't know how to actually put the breast pump on properly. Here's a video for you, or step-to-step instructions. Here's how to make sure the flange is the right size. There's just so many things that you don't know about motherhood in this journey until you go through it. And to be able to have those resources to look at in the moment when you need them at 3:48 a.m. and your baby's crying and you need to do something is so nice to have.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, this has been such a lovely conversation. I could talk to both of you for the rest of the afternoon. But I'm sure everyone has somewhere they need to be at some point today. So I wanted to thank you both for spending the time with us. I feel like I learned so much. I hope everyone who joined did as well. Just a quick reminder, we are running a giveaway, so be sure to email us social@nanit.com with a link to your registry, and we will announce the winner of the Willow pump, the Nanit Pro camera, and one other mystery gift that we'll pick from your registry. I think, later today or tomorrow. Super exciting. So be on the lookout for that. We will announce it on our Instagram. But thank you both so much. Really appreciate it. It was so nice to have this conversation.
It was really nice. Great way to start the day.
Yeah.
Right.
Thanks, guys.
Bye.